All right. There we are. Sorry, guys. We lost our feed there, but we are back up. We are live. So let me go to YouTube here. Yeah, and there we are. We should be back. Let me refresh this page so I can see the comments coming in. And, hey, there we are. All right, give me a second here, Webbs. There you are. You see yourself?
I do.
All right, excellent. So we were talking about those contracts and, people spending that amount of money for that amount of time. I'm not a big fan of spending anything more than 5 years. I think it's wasteful. I haven't seen a good contract yet that was that in length that worked out for the best, for the team. The
Jeter.
Team involved. Other than Derek. Derek is, but he's Derek Jeter. Josh Hamilton, that contract was bad. A-Rod's contract was terrible. So I didn't think he had a good contract either. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is the Phillies didn't get anybody that I wanted. I wanted both of those guys. They went to the Yankees, of course, who can afford that, and the Angels, who can also afford Rendon. The Phillies did get Didi Gregorius, which I think is a good deal.
It's a good move. Good move. Good guy. Good guy. You know you're going to get a full effort from a guy like that. No nonsense. Good player. Good professional.
And
big upside. Big upside in a small ballpark like that.
Yeah.
If he's healthy, he hits some home runs. He's going to be a good player.
And he is also reunited with Joe Girardi.
Right.
So let's get into that. We both agree that big contracts aren't the best, but what do you think about the hiring of Girardi in Philly and Beltran in New York?
Well, I mean, Joe Girardi. I don't know how you argue with a guy with that kind of pedigree. I don't know how Joe Girardi stayed without a job for any length of time. I don't know why Joe Girardi still isn't managing the Yankees. He took them to within 9 innings of the World Series, and that team was not very good. But that's, of course, water under the bridge. Girardi's a really good manager, and it's all about fit.
Yeah,
it's about where a team is and where an organization wants to go, and this. It's as much about what the organization's direction is as it is anything else. And I think obviously Kapler was not the guy for the job in Philadelphia. That was really a mess. That turned into something I'm sure that the Phillies regret. But Girardi is a credible, stable, really solid baseball guy who I think is going to ask a lot of his players. And if the organization is behind him, you could have a lot of success with a guy like Joe Girardi if you give him a good team.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Phillies are going to be much better off with Girardi. Kapler was a mess. I can't believe that Kapler got hired in San Francisco. I mean, immediately somebody just swooped in and took him and swiped him up. I thought he was terrible in Philadelphia.
Well, that goes back to his relationship with the Dodgers, with Farhad, who now runs the Giants. So that's the way it works. You were with the guy in one organization. Now you're available. He calls you up, says, "Do you want the job?" You say yes. You're the manager. That's how it works.
Mm-hmm. Well, good for the Giants for hiring the guy because they're going to be in last place for the next 34 years. And Bumgarner, he left. He went to the Diamondbacks.
Yes.
He signed the Diamondbacks today.
Yes.
Which is a smart move. I think the Diamondbacks are a team that's going in the right direction as opposed to the Giants, which are taking a step back, if you ask me.
Well, they're certainly in a rebuild. There's no question about that. I mean, I think anybody who thinks that the Giants are interested in contending or have intentions on contending this year or next is being naive. But you know what? That's good for my guys that are with the Giants. I got a few guys there, including Hunter and Brandon Monterano and Chris Wright, who are with the Giants. And you know what? Man, just move up even quicker. Let's go.
Yeah, they'll get a lot of opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yes, which is good. To be in an organization like that, they'll get up a lot faster. They'll
No
have
doubt.
more experience, and they'll be able to make an impact. And hopefully in a couple years, 2-3 years, after Kapler's gone, they'll hire a manager that can actually manage. And they'll move on. So what do you think about Carlos Beltran in New York? What do you think about him as a manager?
I don't know. I don't know Beltran. I watched him play his whole career. He was an outstanding player, and I think I don't know. Carlos Beltran struggles a little bit with the language. In New York City, that could be a problem. You got to face the press every day, and you got to speak. So sometimes it's hard to get your message out articulately, especially if you're in a place where English is the language and you struggle with that language. I also think that, to be fair and to be honest, and in the interest of full disclosure, Beltran was known for not always, going hard all the time. And if I were hiring a guy, I'm not so sure that would be the guy at the top of my list. A guy who at times looked like he was conserving energy. Now I hear about his high baseball IQ, and maybe we're going to see that. And if that's the case, I'm sure he'll do well. But he's got no experience at all. He's got a lot of respect from players, but I'm eager to see, combined with their, emphasis on analytics and having a collaborative kind of management team, which is kind of very 21st century. I'm eager to see how that plays itself out.
Yeah, I think Beltran is going to be a good manager, even in New York, even with the language barrier. I think I've heard him in interviews, and I thought he was able to handle it pretty well when he was playing. So I think that he is going to do well in New York. And they have a lot of Dominican players. They have a lot of Latin players. So I think him being at the head of that organization is very good for the Mets. And I think that they're playing to their fan base as well in New York City by hiring someone like Carlos Beltran to be their manager. I think it's a good move.
Yeah, he's got star quality. So we'll see. And look, in New York, the bottom line is it's a results city. You win, you're a hero. You lose, they can't wait to get rid of you. And that's gonna. He better get off to a fast start. That's all I have to say, because
that is true.
The Mets fans have grown weary with not being a relevant team. And last year, you had that push towards the end, which whet their appetite a little bit. But that's going to be hard for them to do with the composition of that roster.
They lost Zach Wheeler. What do you think that does to their starting pitching?
I think they could piece it together. The real question for them is going to be whether or not their bullpen can rebound. If their bullpen can't rebound, they're not going to win. They're going to have a lot of problems. Yeah,
you're in the New York market, and you've seen Zach Wheeler on a consistent basis. Is he an asset now to the Phillies? I mean, I know he throws hard.
In the National League, Zach Wheeler, it's a different game in the National League. It's a lot easier to pitch in the National League. You're pitching to 7 batters, really. No DH, and you got the pitcher. So I think that Zach Wheeler is going to, if he stays injury-free, I think that's they overpaid, obviously, but everybody overpays now. But I think Zach Wheeler could be a real asset for the Phillies, yes.
I heard a crazy stat. I was listening to the radio when I was driving up to New York the other day. Phillies pitchers over the past 2 seasons have had a pitch over 97 miles an hour only 41 times. 41 times a pitcher from the Phillies has thrown a pitch over 97 miles an hour. That's it, 41. Zach Wheeler alone has done it 1,200 times in the past 2 seasons.
Oh, my God. We really do have too many numbers. My God.
Exactly, but I was in that stat.
Doesn't it suffice to say that I think Zach Wheeler will help the Phillies?
Yes.
How he'll help them, I don't know. Maybe he'll throw a knuckleball. I don't know, at 58 miles an hour. But he's going to help them. I think he's a good addition. They spent an awful lot of money for a good addition, but
can he stay healthy?
I think he'll help them.
Yeah, can he stay healthy? Well, you got
Can anyone stay healthy? I mean, that's
you got him and Nola at the front of that rotation. There's a lot of question marks behind in that rotation, and their lineup is they still got a big hole at third base. I hear they're trying to make a deal for Chris Bryant with the Cubs, but I don't know what they're going to have to give up. You're going to have to give up a lot to get Bryant from the Cubs.
Yeah, he's not coming cheap.
No, not at all. And in that ballpark, Chris Bryant, again, any hitter in that ballpark has got an advantage.
Yep.
So the only person who doesn't is the guy standing on the hill. So
That's right.
Everybody else is, especially with I was reading today in Baseball America. I was reading the minor league under attack by Major League Baseball. And this is a terrible segue, but we're gonna go into this next topic. But Major League Baseball at the meetings last week said either you queue up or you're going to be gone to all the minor league owners. That's essentially what they said to them. Are they being bullies, Tommy? What do you think? Or are they?
I don't know. I don't know if the word is bully, but
or in the right.
This is kind of the playbook for Rob Manfred. He's kind of known even before he became the commissioner, the way he, Alex.
Uh-oh. We were going good, and then I lost him. All right, hold on. I want to bring it right back. Craziness. Tommy Weber is nothing but a question mark. Well, anyway, we were talking about Major League Baseball bullying. I got you. Wow.
Baseball.
What happened?
I don't know.
Anyway, yeah. So, do you think they were being bullies? I mean, that
No,
was what
I
the article
think-
said. The article said, they're bullying minor league baseball.
Look, I think baseball is steeped in arrogance at this point in time here in the 21st century. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know if these guys were just waiting, they were laying in wait for their opportunity to take over and fundamentally change everything like revolutionaries. This reminds me of book burning after a while. I think Rob Manfred believes he knows better what's in the best interest of the game, more so than the fans, the owners, the players, and the people who work in the game. And he's got some mission that he's on. I'm sure it's tied to the fact that they don't want to pay minor league players more than they're already making. So if you cut the workforce, there's more money to pay